All right, welcome to our explainer. Today, we're drawing you a personal map into one of the most exciting and, let's be honest, confusing careers on the entire planet, artificial intelligence. So if you've been thinking about getting in, this is your guide. Let's get right to it.
You see it everywhere, right? AI, machine learning, data science. The jobs are definitely out there, but so is the competition. It's so easy to feel lost, kind of like you're just staring at this huge, tangled forest with no clear path forward. So the big question is, how do you actually break in?
But what if you had a map? Well, that's exactly what we've built for you today. So you can forget all that confusion. This is your practical step-by-step roadmap, and it's designed to take you from just being a curious learner all the way to a job-ready professional. Okay, first things first. We've got to look at the big picture, because before you write a single line of code, you really need to understand the landscape. Let's map out the key territories so you can actually choose your destination wisely. Think of these fields like a pyramid. At the very bottom, that's your base. You've got data science. It's all about analyzing data to find insights. Then, the next layer up is AI and machine learning, which is about building models that can learn from all that data. And right at the very top, you have prompt engineering, which is really the art of communicating with those powerful models. They all overlap for sure, but each one has a very clear, distinct focus.
All right, time to get practical. Your first 6 months are all about building a solid foundation. If you get this part right, everything else just kind of falls into place.
So, this foundational stage, that's your first 6 months. Look, this isn't about finding shortcuts. It's a real investment in your future. This is where you're going to spend your time mastering the core concepts that will support your entire career. Get this right, and you are totally set up for long-term success. So, the most crucial point here is to focus on these 3 pillars. For math, that means linear algebra and statistics. For programming, listen, Python is absolutely non-negotiable, along with key libraries like NumPy and Pandas. And here's a huge tip. Master these fundamentals before you start chasing the latest hot new framework. A strong foundation is worth way more than just surface-level knowledge of a dozen tools. And finally, for tools, you have to get comfortable with Git and GitHub. This is how you're going to prove your skills later on.
So, your foundation is built. Awesome. Now comes the really exciting part, choosing your path. These next 6 months are all about specialization. This is where you get to carve out your unique identity in the world of AI.
So months 6 to 12 are all about shifting from theory to practice. You're going to go from knowing the basics to building real end-to-end projects. Things like a working spam detector or a simple AI chatbot. These projects are what prove to recruiters that you can actually do the job. So here are your 4 main paths. You could dive into classic machine learning to predict things like house prices. Or you could focus on data science, where you'd master data storytelling and SQL, which is really just the language for managing databases. For a bigger challenge, there's deep learning for things like image recognition. Or the super new field of prompt engineering, where you could build your own AI chatbot. And this just brilliantly illustrates 2 very different advanced paths. On one hand, deep learning is all about building those complex neural networks from the ground up. Prompt engineering, on the other hand, is about becoming an expert at communicating with and controlling the most powerful models that already exist. One is like building the engine, the other is being the master driver.
Okay, you've built the skills, you've specialized. Now let's talk about turning all of that hard work into an actual career. This next phase is all about building proof and, you guessed it, landing that job.
So, the next step is building your career. From months 12 to 18, your entire focus should be on creating a killer portfolio. And that portfolio, that becomes the bridge to the next phase. From month 18 onwards, you're focused on applications, internships, and landing that first job.
And your portfolio is going to live on these 4 platforms. GitHub is for your code, Kaggle is where you test your skills in competitions, Medium is for writing articles to show you can communicate what you found, and LinkedIn is all about visibility. You have to remember this, recruiters love candidates with public work.
And here is the payoff. In India, a data analyst can start at around 4 to 6 lakhs per year. As you advance to an ML engineer, that jumps to 6 to 10 lakhs. And even more advanced roles like an AI engineer, which require skills in things like APIs, those are just the tools that let different software programs talk to each other, can earn even more. Just remember, most people start out as an analyst or an intern and work their way up.
This chart just makes the career progression crystal clear. You can literally see how the salary potential grows as your skills become more specialized. Moving from a data analyst to an ML engineer and then to an AI engineer comes with a really significant jump in compensation. It's simple. More skills, more value.
But listen, getting your first job is not the finish line. The final part of our roadmap is about having a long-term vision and navigating the challenges so you can build a sustainable, thriving career in AI.
This quote really says it all. AI is not a field where you can learn something once and then just be set for life. The technology, the tools, the techniques, they're all evolving at an absolutely incredible pace. So continuous learning isn't just a good idea, it's a requirement for survival.
Let's be real for a second. It is crowded out there, but every single challenge has a solution. Too much competition? Well, you stand out with unique projects. Can't seem to get that first job? An internship, even a short one, can give you that crucial experience. The key is to always be proactive.
So, where can this all lead you in, say, 3 to 5 years? Well, the possibilities are pretty vast. You could go into academic research, climb the corporate ladder as a senior AI engineer, become an entrepreneur building your own AI apps, or even work as a highly paid freelancer or content creator. This roadmap really does open up a lot of doors.
And here it is, the full roadmap, all in one place. Let's just recap it quickly. Months 0 to 6, you're building your foundation in math and code. Months 6 to 12, you're specializing and building your first projects. Months 12 to 18, you're crafting a powerful portfolio. And finally, months 18 to 36, you're launching your career and landing a job. It's a marathon, not a sprint, but this is your clear path forward.
So, we've laid out the map for you.